What's up guys, Brandon and Jeremy here from friendofourc.com, and today we're going to give you our review of the OFNA Hyper 9E. This is a 1A scale buggy, and as usual we're going to jump right into the technicals, so I'm going to let Brandon take over with the overview.
So this is the Hyper 9E, like you said. This is their top of the line A-scale electric buggy. Now they do have the Hyper 9, which is the nitro version, but this one they actually revamped specifically for electric in terms of placement of all the electronics. So we got the battery, motor, and speed controller as close to the center of the chassis as possible and very low set. Speed control, the only thing being sticking up so you get a little more airflow over it. Really well laid out, perfect handling. You can see they got a pretty beefy battery box that comes up pretty high, so you can run soft packs safely without too much worry about getting it damaged or punctured.
Yeah, one thing I thought that was pretty nice was because of that size, you can put a 5S LiPo in here relatively easy, unlike some other kits where you put that size of battery in, which you're going to need anyway. It just kind of, it's just clearly way too big and doesn't have enough support, but OFNA's got it right here. In terms of the electronics that we chose to run in it, we've got a Tekin RX8 speed controller and brushless combo system. This is, I think, the 2050 kV. And then for servos, I believe we're running a Spectrum steering servo, but you've got your threaded shocks, obviously four-wheel drive, which I forgot to mention earlier. In terms of the other technical stuff, I mean, it comes as a rolling chassis, so there's not a heck of a lot really in terms of tech that you need to worry about out of the box. The rest kind of happens afterwards. One thing I do remember, really all you got to do is build the shocks, and everything else is pretty much ready to go. In terms of cost of operation and durability, this is probably one of our most heavily beat kits, and I'd say it's held up all right, except for something somewhat recent. We had a small break here, which looks worse than it really is.
Yeah, that's just the diff case slash shock tower bulkhead, if you will, that came off. It's really just one part, only about 12 bucks online. And honestly, I mean, like you said, we run this rig the most because it's really one of our favorites. And we've probably done countless full speed tumbles where it's just tumbling over pavement, grass, anything you name it. I think this ended up being a sewer drain in the grass. It hit full speed, sent it tumbling, and eventually cracked it. But for all the abuse we put it through, got to be one of the strongest A-scale buggies I've driven.
Yeah, and in terms of cost of operation, like really with any true 8th scale, the roller might only be 300 bucks, but you really got to think about the electronics that you're going to put in afterwards. So if you're at a budget limit, you know, getting something like the Hyper 9E rolling chassis, you've got to keep in mind most of your cost happens afterwards, a lot like any kit. And then when you go A scale, everything costs more. So you're buying a bigger LiPo if you don't have it. You're buying a serious, I mean, you don't have to run a Tekin setup, but you know, you're spending
You're getting an
bucks.
A-scale setup either way, right? And you're going to be around $300 no matter how you look at it. Steering servo, you know, you can't run your standard steering servo. You need something 200 to 300 ounce inches to really get the full potential out of it. So yeah, you get a little bit more setup cost for sure on the A-scale.
And in terms of like the cost, you know, the replacement parts, you know, other than availability, I wouldn't say they're any more expensive than anything else.
No,
I mean,
not really.
It's been pretty good. So on to the fun factor, and I would say this thing meets or exceeds all expectations. It's easily one of the most fun kits that we've ever had.
Yeah, no, I would agree 100%. It's an A-scale buggy. You know, they all handle just excellent. Jumping it in the air, you get the excellent balance from the wing and just the layout in general. The thing is really well behaved and easy to control and just crazy fast. I mean, too much fun. That's why we flip it so much.
Yeah, and then it kind of rolls right into the value, and the way I look at it is, you know, utils of fun for per dollar kind of thing, and your units of fun.
Sure.
And this thing is super fun. I thought the kit, the rolling chassis, is very affordable, and if you've got the coin to put the right electronics in it, I think you really got a great value. There's not anything that, to me, for what you get once you build it, in terms of maybe comparing it to like some of the low Cs and stuff like that, you get a ton of value for what you put into it.
Yeah, they've really took their time, especially on now the E version, to make sure that this is not just a nitro that was slightly revamped for electric, but rather starting over with the dog bone drive shaft and making sure that this is exactly how you'd want your electric buggy to be. That's why it's in the top 3, you know, right up there with the Mugen, the Losi, like you called too.
Yeah.
It's considered one of the best, so, and we agree, it's excellent.
So then, obviously, with everything we've said, the performance, with a roller, it's more of like, meh. it's tough to really rate, right? When you put an expensive Tekin system in here, performance is going to be great.
Yeah.
What I can say about it's very predictable in its in-air behavior. Obviously, on the ground, it's very stable. You don't have a lot of what is it? Gravity roll or something. I can't think of what it's called.
Yeah, it's got a low center of gravity.
Yeah, so you've got, it's a real stable system, and it kind of really wants to stay on the ground, even if you're pushing it too hard. And
yeah, and
that's definitely fun.
That's just the Bastion era. We did take it to a track. If you got a track, obviously you'll love it that much more. It's just unbelievable on the track. I mean, always in front of the pack, always clearing the jumps. You got so much power in such a tiny package. It's so well balanced, and you really have the best of the best.
Yeah. So going Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, go back in time. Would I get it again? Absolutely. Would I change anything? Maybe I'd buy a couple of replacement parts just to have on hand. Now, the part that we broke, there's no way you anticipate that. It's probably a $20 part, maybe, probably less. But maybe you get a couple extra A-arms just to have around. So unless in case your local hobby store doesn't carry these parts regularly, you don't want to be down for 3 to 5 days for a $5 part. So absolutely, this one will stay in our collection for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely buy it again as well. I love the Hyper 9E layout. If you don't like the price tag of it, I mean, it's around $400. The Nex 8, which is the one step down, just as good with the saddle pack configuration. Personally, I love having a solid 5-cell I can stick in there, and the durability and the 17mm shocks. It's hands down for me. I'd buy it again, absolutely.
Great. So if you have any questions about what we've talked about, or any specific questions of things we missed, post them up down below. And thanks for watching.